What are you talking about, man? What's wrong?
Shoot something else.
The devil.
Everyone is dead!
You ain't seen the half of it yet.
Hello everybody, it's Aaron back from Screen Stars, and I'm here once again to do another review for Geek Legion of Doom, and today I'm here to review the 2017 horror film Dark Roads 79, a film that is directed by Chase Smith, who also stars in the film, and it also has appearances in the film by Bill Moseley, Eddie George, Libby Blanton, Jessica Sonneborn, Austin Freeman and Lance Paul. Now, this is a film set in the late 70s, the clue's in the title, and it focuses on a southern rock band that is basically coming to the end of their fame, end of the road for them, and they've been kind of instructed that they've got a week to find a new sound, or essentially their careers is over. So they are shipped off to a cabin in the woods and forced to collaborate together to try and come up with a new sound. However, there is something sinister out in the woods, or potentially amongst them, that decides they aren't going to make this a pleasant trip at all, and they all start getting stalked and killed one by one. Right, that's the basic premise of the film that we get here. Now, this is a bit of an odd film. At times it's really, really good, and by that I mean the music is excellent, and because it's a film based around a rock band, so there's a lot of music here in this film, and it's really good. You know, if you're into, like, you know, this kind of music, it's not really heavy thrashy metal. It's like a bit like soft rock, I suppose, like southern soft rock. And I actually really liked the music for the most part in this film. It really, really worked for the film. But then the contrast of it is the sound, for how the actors is recorded. Sounds really cheap and really tinny, and it just really affected the film, I think, and I just couldn't get my head around that, because the music sounded so good. It really, really made the other sound really stand out and feel really, really cheap. Now, this film is heavily influenced by many other horrors that have come before it. The cabin in the woods scenario, Friday the 13th. It plays heavily on the you know, the curse, the 27 curse, you know, when you get to a certain age sort of thing, you know, your time is up as a performer or an artist, that type of thing. It even takes its influence from Evil Dead now and again, this film, and it does it reasonably successful in all cases, and essentially once you get to this cabin in the wood, you are greeted with scenes of, and in no particular order, people fornicating, taking drugs, arguing, trying to make music, and included in that is people getting butchered and murdered in progressively inventive ways as the film goes on, and then you've got the usual, oh, where's such and such? Oh, I don't know, shall we go and look for them? Yes, we'll split up in the woods and go and look for them. And it's just an excuse for more people to get killed. The main issue with this film is it's not very inventive as to how it gets people out and about and getting killed and things like that, and it's got too many people in the film. There's too many characters and you don't know who's who, so when they start saying where's such and such, you're kind of like, which character was that? Was that the one that got killed last time, or the one before, or the one that killed before that? And you genuinely don't really have much of an idea who people are and what the names are, because they don't focus on characters well enough. Even the main central character, who it turns out to be, which is actually Chase Smith, the director, his character, I couldn't remember his name for the majority of the film. and many others as well, and it really harms the film, because it's that age-old problem when people die. As fun as it might be to see them hacked to pieces or inventively killed, you don't know who they are, so you don't really care. And for me, it's a problem with films like this. If you don't care about who's been killed, it's just an entertaining way to chop them to pieces, I suppose. And some of the performances here on display are less stellar than others, is probably the kindest way I can say it. Some I think do okay, and some of the others not so much. But I think it's a suitable slasher film. It's a decent entry into the genre. It tries to be retro. It tries to be a little bit different with a musical approach, but ultimately it turns out really just to be another slasher film that tries very hard, I think, to do something a little bit different with the genre, but ultimately I think it kind of fails. I mean, it's entertaining enough to watch this film, and I didn't really have a problem with it. I found it actually quite a lot of fun to watch it now and again, but it does suffer quite a lot with problems, the things that I've discussed, especially the sound and things like that. But there is enough entertainment here to keep you going and keep this film entertaining for the most part, especially if you're a fan of genre films like slasher films, etc. Because it does try and be a little bit inventive here. So I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. It's one of those films that you look at and think, if it had a bigger production, a little bit of a bigger budget, it could have really stood out in the genre. As it turns out, it kind of is probably going to get lost in the pack. So yeah, that's my review for Dark Road 79. A pretty decent slasher film, if a little bit predictable at times. But yeah, that's my review. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching, everybody, and we'll be back for more reviews on the channel very soon.